listening to This Place by Oregon Humanities. Each week, we ask Oregonians around the state what it's like to live where they do. Today, we hear from Ana Varas in Sisters.
We are actually at the ranch. We're in a little office. We are surrounded by the best views ever. We have the Three Sisters, we have the pivot field, and then you see the forest, and then you see the mountains on one side, and on the other side, we have the forest and the Huachos Creek running. In Sisters, I've been here for 3 years. Obviously, with someone with my background, it's difficult to define what home is. I think home is where you feel, when after a long day, you're like, oh, finally, I have arrived. And yeah, Sisters, it's a very beautiful place. It has this kind of old West aesthetic in town. So all the buildings have, if you see our old Western film, you can see the same facade in the buildings. But Sisters, it's kind of in the middle of the forest, so it's surrounded with nature. And this is the part that it feels like home to me, because although I'm from Mexico City, being in my house, waking up every morning, seeing the deer and the wild turkey outside my house in my backyard, and having been surrounded with these beautiful ponderosa trees, it's very unique. And I think maybe that's what makes me feel at home, this connection to the land, to nature, that I never feel, and I never did while I was in Mexico City. It has the perfect weather, in my opinion, because, in the winter it's cold and it does snow, but it doesn't snow too much. That is oh my God, I'm tired of snow. And then in the summer, in the winter it's also sunny. And then in the summer, as a Mexican that loves warm weather, it's perfect because it's, warm enough that you could be just comfortable with a t-shirt and stuff, but it doesn't get too warm. And if it does, you have the creek, or, there's sort of lake that is nearby, and, you can just take a dip. There's a lot of culture, and there's more than people think. There's a lot of things happening here. I had a lot of people coming from Bend and being like, oh, I didn't know there was so much happening in Sisters. And the community is actually quite educated and knowledgeable. So I feel like they are just very interested in always having something to offer and to learn. So I think maybe that would be the main thing, that it's a very active, artistic and cultural community. It is definitely very white, just to put it in broad terms. It is not frustrating per se, but I do think I miss the diversity. It's actually the forest. That's kind of where I always go. Yeah, I can just see the ponderosas, and then, I can even smell the ponderosas. They have, if you actually go very close to them, they smell like vanilla. And I think about woodpeckers. I can hear the woodpeckers. Sisters has one of the biggest populations of woodpeckers in the world. So that's also something that people don't know. So that's where I go, and it's very quiet and calm, and yeah, I don't hear the creek, but I do hear just nature.
That was Ana Varas in Sisters. You've been listening to This Place from Oregon Humanities.